exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Welcome to Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. It's our Valentine's Day edition, and it's great to have you here. If you're watching on the Rewind, thank you for joining us as well. We have a great show lined up tonight. First, we're going to take attendance. Flashpoint Comics. I have him marked down as an excused absence. Signature King Tony Fett. I don't have a note of excuse on him. Do you?
I don't.
Okay.
We're reviewing a book for him,
absence.
I know his favorite book.
Yeah. Tim the Comic Collector. He's here.
I'm here.
Hi, Tim. Station.
Station.
And then we have Dave, Comic Food 2814. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? How are things?
Pretty good.
Doing good. It's been a fun weekend so far.
Yeah, certainly goes by fast. I was telling Tim that the Midwest Themskerian embassy is checking in at 5 degrees tonight. And when it's 5 degrees, the only good thing about that is it's above zero.
Wow.
That's it. So
yeah, that's rough. I gotta tell you, you gotta warn us before you start the show like that. I think we
Exactly.
just barely we almost lost Tim.
Yeah.
He was ready to go on a cruise on that Love Boat. He's going to go sailing down the Love Boat.
I saw him trying to hold it together.
If you live farther north than St. Louis, you deserve what you get. When it comes to weather.
Let's say hello to some people who have realized that there's nothing to watch on TV tonight, so they're hanging out with us live. Starting out with White Tiger Cool, Calm, Collected, a.k.a. Ruben Guzman. Ruben, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that very much. And then Inja Binja is here. Happy Sunday to you. I hope that you've had a great Sunday. Appreciate you wrapping up the weekend by stopping by for the Valentine's edition of Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. And then we have my friend and our DC friend, Jaguar Chicatal, checking in. So, Jag, good to see you too. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend.
How's it going?
Yeah.
A multiple time alum of the show.
Yeah.
So, do we have any DC Comics news?
Some
they dropped some
reaction,
trailers.
maybe.
Yeah.
Where would you like
watched,
to begin?
I'm just gonna. This is a little bit older, but I just recently saw trailers for the Batman. What was your guys' thoughts?
I haven't watched them. I've kind of stopped watching trailers, so I'm just going to go in as surprised as I can. But you guys go ahead and discuss.
Have
Yeah,
you
I don't
seen
think
any,
I saw
Dave?
the Batman trailer, but I saw the one that you posted, Tim, with the just kind of the what's coming in 2022 from DC. They
Yeah,
certainly
Oh yeah, that
you know.
Tony posted that. Yeah, because of the.
Oh, Tony, okay. Yeah.
Because we get to see footage of the JSA, I guess, from the Black Adam movie.
Yeah, we saw Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny.
And Hawkman, right?
Yeah. This
Yeah,
like
that was cool.
crappily drawn 1980s Dr. Fate #1 that like litters dollar bins has been all over Instagram like it's worth something. It's hilarious in my opinion. Yeah.
Wow.
I
I'll
see
have to see if
that.
I have that one.
Yeah.
I see that the major DC villain for the next season of Titans has been announced, and it is not a Teen Titans villain.
The one I heard is a Teen Titans villain.
Well, the minor villain is going to be Brother Blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Who
That's all I heard.
who is a Teen Titans villain.
That's
And
definitely
there were
Teen
hints of that coming because if you remember in the background from an episode of this previous season, you saw the Church of Brother Blood in like a billboard behind them.
Yeah.
They never acknowledged it, but it was there and it was visible.
Yeah.
But did you hear who the big villain, the non-Titans villain, is going to be for their next season?
The Batman Who Laughs.
No.
Oh, God.
It's a 50-50 shot if you guess him.
It is going to be Lex Luthor.
That could be
Really?
interesting.
That's what they're saying. So I don't think it's been cast yet, or if it has been cast, that hasn't been revealed.
It
but
does
it's Lex
make
Luthor.
sense because of Superboy. If you have
Sure.
if you have that particular Superboy,
Yeah.
Lex should show
That's
up at some
true.
point. So
I
Yeah.
mean, he's basically his dad, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
so
Half his dad.
I think it fits. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
So
But him and Sinestro are my favorites, so I'm never gonna get mad if you're throwing one of them at me.
yep.
As long as they do it right.
Exactly.
That's where I get worried about Lex Luthor, you know, that they're gonna
We've
screw
seen
it up in
very
some way.
well done portrayals of him, and then we've seen
Yeah.
very bad
There's
portrayals
the
of him.
Rosenbaum from Smallville, which is perfect, and then there's the Eisenberg, who I think they told him he was playing the Joker. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. That was that wasn't my preference for
I was disappointed because I'm not a huge fan of actors, but I always liked the movies he was in, so I was expecting greatness.
Yeah. Yeah, he was too crazy, like you said. Like he thought he was
Yeah.
playing the Joker. Like Luther's not crazy. Like
No.
he's
Mhm.
maybe
He's like-
insane, but
he's
not
like your-
crazy. Like there's a
He's like your
difference.
best
like, you know?
friend. He's like the coolest guy in the room, and then he turns on a dime, and he's ruthless. But he's
He's
always
ruthless.
smart
Yeah.
and collected. But like you love him, and then you hate him. Like that's the best Luthor. Like on Smallville, you cared about him. Like, oh, this is the best, your best friend, and then boom, he's vicious just like that, and you're like, whoa, there's Luthor. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Kevin Spacey Luthor?
He was all right.
Yeah, I would say he's just all right. The reason I ask is I just happened to be watching that movie, watching it again the other night.
yeah,
You know,
it's-
but you can't leave out Gene Hackman. I mean, his portrayal of Lex
he-
Luthor was.
I mean, that's
was
my
good.
favorite. But yeah.
Yeah, that's my
But
favorite.
I mean, that's
too.
also because I grew up with that, you know?
Yeah.
but in a way, that's two different Luthors. Like even in the comics, the '70s Luthor is a bit different than like the more modern Luthor.
That's
you
true.
know? So
Mhm.
yeah.
So, as someone who isn't reading the full line of DC books, does the modern day Luthor still have his super suit?
When I quit buying new comics, it seemed like the last we seen of him, he was Apex Luthor. And I don't really remember seeing much of him after that to know. But up to that point, he had his suit.
Okay.
Because he changed it to the Superman suit, remember? And he was pretty much in that up to when he was Apex Luthor.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately I don't collect Superman anymore either.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's even in there modern wise, like if he's appearing. So I guess
Jag,
there
if
is a
you're in the
little bit
chat
of
and you know, chime in.
there is some big comic news this week, which
Tell
I mean
us.
don't matter to me until they show up in dollar bins, but they announced the Dark Crisis this week.
Really?
The next crisis is called Dark Crisis, and a lot of people are speculating from the art and because all we got, I believe, was like a big splash page done in crisis style and a brief description that sort of has like the old heroes in the background, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and it's the new line of heroes are going to save the day. So like John, Joe Mullen, Yara, all those people. So it's also rumored that because 5G sort of turned into Future State, right? But this is sort of building on the original idea of what they were going to do with Future State, like that crisis to bring them in. So could be interesting.
Let's say hello to Brother John Comics. Appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with us here as we're currently discussing current DC Comics news. We have a retro review lined up, and we have trivia tonight too for a chance to win absolutely nothing. We haven't built the
As long as
budget
he
on the
doesn't
Magic
pick Wonder
Lasso
Woman
channel that
trivia.
high yet.
I know.
It's
We're in
like the
trouble
one
too.
character I don't know a lot about.
Cool. Well, what else do we have news-wise? Anything?
I think just the trailers and that Dark Crisis was all I really heard. So, I mean, for those that don't know, coming up, we still have the Death of the Justice League, and I think that's, 2 months away?
Yeah,
April.
that's coming in
Two-ish.
April.
Yeah.
Hello to Actual Dracula up in Canada. Popping by to say hello. And Brother John's been collecting nothing for years.
Cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, I've slowed down over the last few weeks as well. Just haven't had as much of an opportunity to get out to the store, and price of food has gone up, so it's kind of cutting my comic budget.
You get out of the habit of buying new books and look at what you were spending, and it's so hard to go back. Like I find it hard to even go buy back issues now because it's like, man, I was spending, because you could just do other stuff. Like
it's true,
Yeah.
I found it's amazing when it comes to back issues that there's, 2.5 to 3 years ago, if you said I would have paid X amount for whatever back issue, I would have laughed you off of your stool. And now I'm just easily willing to plunk that same amount down and think, yeah, that's just what it is now.
Isn't it crazy?
To me, that's true. Like before I came on YouTube, the most I had ever spent on a comic, one time I paid $20. And I regretted it for a long time. This week, I bought one comic online, and it was $20, and I didn't think much of it, but it's a comic I've been after for years. And I'm looking at another one that's $40, and it's like, probably going to buy it for $40.
What was your first big $20 purchase?
It was the last issue of Batgirl Volume 3, which they count the miniseries after Batgirl Volume 1, which is both Cassandra series. This was the Stephanie Brown, and it was an Art Germ cover that just went through the roof. And I forget the exact issue, but it's like 13 or 14 with Dracula on the cover.
So this is before she was dabbing.
Yeah.
It was before Barbara was back.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the issue was, but time.
Art Germ had some amazing covers back then.
Yeah. And they were cranking those out like water, I mean, and because they were selling, but they were good too. They deserved to sell the way that they did. I actually met Art Germ, which I actually think says something, since he doesn't come to the United States all that often, let alone, and we haven't had cons in the last couple of years, but I actually had the chance to meet him. So that's
cool.
And this is how stupid, and I'm just flat out saying I was stupid. This is how stupid I was when it came to that, because I went to C2E2 and I went with a friend, and we both decided, let's get some signatures this year. So we kind of planned things around, and I thought when it came to Jenny Frison that there was going to be a line a mile long for her. And I said, and with Art Germ, we should just be able to walk up and just get it.
Oh, man.
Switch them. Yeah. I walked right up to Jenny Frison, and then Art Germ was about an hour in line.
I believe it. Yeah.
You see, I don't know much about outside of DC, but as far as DC goes, like, I truly think you're investing money if you pick up Art Germ, Frison, and Hughes. And I'm talking about modern, but that applies to older stuff too. I just think their work is amazing.
Yeah.
You could probably throw Middleton in there as well. Like, he has some fantastic.
Yeah.
We were talking about, did you ever think you'd spend $20? I never thought I would go after a cover artist. I thought it was stupid. Like, I would purposely go get the other cover just to pay $1 or $3 instead of $20 for a cover.
I think Art Germ is the only one I do that for. Yeah. Well, I got a hold of one of his Supergirl covers one time. I was like, who did this? And like, I had to go look it up. And then I saw there was a run of them. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding.
Yeah. I mean, they're not all home runs, but like, I'd say 80% of what they do, you're like, man, that's a must-have cover. Yeah. I think Friesen's been on I think it was Friesen is doing the current Catwoman. Of course, when I quit buying, she was. Yeah.
An actual Dracula, by the way, that for $25 to get Avengers Annual 10, you did good at that time. Although that was in the 90s, and that probably was expensive for that book back in the 90s. Yeah, that's
probably like
but now,
$50-$60.
Yeah, now you're doing very well. So the longest I've told this before, and since I've told it before, I won't stay on this subject very long, but the longest I ever waited in line for a comic book artist autograph was George Perez. But the second longest I ever waited in line was for Alex Ross.
Oh, wow.
But it was worth it.
I think
both
he's
of them
a Marvel, ain't he?
time-wise.
So he was doing
Alex
Incredible
Ross
Hulk.
was, he lives, I guess, in the Chicago area, in the Chicagoland area. And there was a museum there that was doing an exhibit on him. And he came on the final weekend of the exhibit to sign. And you could get up to 5 things signed for free with an admission to the museum that day.
Wow.
So it was a no-brainer. They had to cut the line off about half an hour after he arrived, and he still went over an hour longer than he was supposed to be there because he didn't want to turn away anyone that was in line. They once they capped the line, they pretty much guaranteed everyone was going to get to see him, even if it went longer than the allotted time that he was supposed to be there, which was good because I got into him about 15 minutes after the allotted time was over.
Wow.
So, but he was very, very nice.
Now, have you guys ever had to pay for a signature?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I've never got a signature in person, so technically
Okay.
every signature I have, I paid for.
You know, I feel like there's somebody that we've had on the show before that would be a good person to ask, but just
Not tonight.
attendance issues.
Let's get all of our signature talk out of the way now, just so we don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never paid for a comic autograph. They've always been free, but yeah, I think the longest I stood in line was probably about an hour for Mark Silvestri, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And this was like in 2012, 2013. And yeah, he was still really hot even then.
Wow.
Wow.
Hello to Male 6565. Appreciate you stopping by for Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. I've had a few where they're signing, but it's all going to charity. And that's a no-brainer right there, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to
$5.
say when I saw
not
Art
bad.
Germ, I think it was $5 raw when I saw him too. It wasn't that much, but
Wow.
that's cool.
Oh yeah, Joelle Jones.
Yeah.
I recognize that name. She does good stuff.
Yep.
I think she's a writer, ain't she? I might be wrong.
Writer/artist, more writer than artist. She was on the
Okay.
Wonder Girl series.
Okay.
Doing
Oh,
both halves.
okay. That's where I recognize because she
Yeah.
did some covers for that.
Well, she did the
Yeah.
interiors, some interiors too in the beginning. So cool.
Okay.
Any other news before we segue on to our retro review?
No.
Okay.
Nothing here.
So we're going to have 2 Valentine's Day themed retro reviews for you. The first one that we're going to do, pre-crisis, there was just a handful of occurrences where Superman and Wonder Woman kind of had a romantic interest. And we picked one of those stories for you tonight to do as part of our retro review. It's DC Comics Presents number 32. And what do you guys think of that cover? I personally, I remember seeing this on a spinner rack for the first time. And I was, that was all cylinders on fire. Ding, 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 ding. Couldn't grab it out of the spinner rack fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic artwork. I mean,
yeah,
really nice. I love DC Comics Presents.
Yeah. And this, I will add to, is Wonder Woman and Superman's second team up in DC Comics Presents. The first happened with issue number 9. So, Comic Fu, if you want to kick off the first half of our retro review, we'll get started.
Sure. So, all right. So this story is going to start out with Wonder Woman essentially fighting boredom in the Justice League satellite orbiting Earth. It's her time for monitor duty, and she's kind of dozing off, almost even regretting, why did I even join the league? This is so boring. And she doesn't notice, you see that little flicker of light coming through. She doesn't notice it come through the window here, and it turns out that it is the god Eros has come to profess his love for her. Like, he wastes no time. He's just like, I'm here, I'm in love with you. And as you can see, he decides to immediately plant one on Wonder Woman. And well, you can imagine her reaction to that. She shoves him away, and her reaction to it's really quite funny because she says, well, geez, you must be an Olympian if you thought that you had a chance at just kissing me like that, you know? So, but no, she's of course in love with Steve Trevor. And again, I mean, this story gets right into it here. And Eros is, I think he says something to the effect of, maybe think of me more as the Greek version. So Eros is the Roman version of the god of love, I guess, or he's the daughter of help me out here, Aphrodite. Yes, not the daughter. He's the son of. But in Greek mythology, his name would be Cupid. Am I getting that right?
Yeah,
I think so.
You got it right.
So, having been rejected by Wonder Woman, finding out she's in love with someone else, he gets very angry and he actually grows in size with his rage. And he mentions, that his idea of love is Wonder Woman's like, that's not love, that's passion. And it just makes him all the more angry. And so he pulls out this arrow and he's like, I'm going to show you, right? And at that point, Superman just happens to teleport up to the watchtower and surprises both of them. He's like, what's going on here? And Eros shoots the arrow directly at Superman now. And man, look at this. He's manhandling Wonder Woman. Not a very nice guy. But Aphrodite needs to raise him better. Teach him some manners. But Superman gets struck by essentially Cupid's love arrow, and you see where this is going. And you can see here his eyes. He's falling for Wonder Woman, and at the same time, Eros then hits Wonder Woman with one of these arrows, and the two of them, as he kind of like disappears, I guess. He's trying to teach him a lesson, get his revenge, because they're both in love with someone else, but now he's going to make them in love with each other. And so he kind of disappears here. And at this point, Clark and Diana have their first kiss here on the watchtower. But it's quite interesting because both of them still have enough of their senses and wits about them that they know that this is not right. And so they back off from each other and decide to go their own separate ways to try to deal with this in some other way. And they know that they cannot be together. But you can see kind of the look on their face. They're kind of like lovesick over it all, right?
Wouldn't a better strategy to have been to shoot Wonder Woman at the very beginning?
Right, I know. Yeah, well, clearly Eros is not the brightest bulb, So he's back up on Mount Olympus, and this is really cool. And the way they describe it, it's like the same Olympus or mountain, I guess, that you can see from Earth, but it's like just slightly phased out of time so that only the gods can visit this version of it. And so he's looking into this pool, basically watching the events of Wonder Woman and Superman. And when Aphrodite, his mother, comes walking up behind him, it's like, what are you doing? He kicks the water to, disperse it. And he's like, oh, nothing. And she's like, you're up to no good again, aren't you? So at that point, I'm trying to think, is this a good time to... No, I'll hand it over to you in just a second here, Lasso. Okay. So Wonder Woman and Superman are still on the watchtower here. They're deciding that they need to go their other way, their separate ways. And Superman is just so tortured with this, this love that he can't reciprocate here. And he goes busting out of the watchtower without even thinking of it. And immediately turns back and is like, whoops, because he just depressurized the watchtower. So he's got to race back real quick and seal it back up before Wonder Woman, because she would die in space before anything happens to her. And then he rushes back down to Earth. And with that, I will hand it over to you, Lasso.
Yep. So he uses his X-ray vision to find out that Wonder Woman actually had left the satellite. So she's already back on Earth. So she wasn't in trouble from his recklessness from busting through the satellite. So she heads to Earth. Steve Trevor, he hears a sound and he sees some reflected sunlight and he thinks it's his angel coming to see him. And he is correct. It's his angel. And she wastes no time. She, I think more than anything, is trying to tell herself this is the man that she's in love with. It's not Superman. It is Colonel Steve Trevor. So there's some smooching going on there. And all at once you see this disgusted look just right there. You see that disgusted look on her face. And she sees on TV that Superman has essentially flown back to Earth and he's on live TV right now kissing Lois Lane. And Wonder Woman has had enough. She pushes Steve and he's kind of like, what's going on? And then Wonder Woman says my favorite line of this entire issue. In referencing Lois Lane, she says, I'll show that news-hounding hussy what it means to play around with the man loved by Wonder Woman. And Steve was like, the man you love? But I thought that was me. So he's left bewildered as she is scrambling on. This kiss is lasting so long that it's still going by the time that she gets there. Yeah, and Lana Lang is covering it, and she's kind of bored with it because this kiss is just going on and on and on. And then you see what's headed Lois's direction, a tiara boomerang. So Wonder Woman is leaping out of her jet, and Superman's like, have you gone mad? You know, someone could have been killed by that tiara with your, throwing that with your strength. And then she's kind of like, funny that you should mention killing Superman because that's just what I intended to do. And then she says, to this man-stealing witch who's been pining over you. So you see, she lifts her up and she is going to throw her in front of a truck. And Superman,
because that's what you do, right?
Yeah. When you see an oncoming cement truck, you get rid of the competition. Superman sweeps in, saves Lois, stops the truck. But apparently Superman is like, I can't resist anymore. She can't resist anymore. And Lois and Lana Lang witness kissy, smoochy Superman and Wonder Woman. And they decide, as Wonder Woman says, and we can go someplace where we can take care of some business. I don't know what that means. So they fly off to take care of some business, leaving Lois Lane and Lana Lang comforting each other. They both loved Superman, but now they've both lost him. So they take solace in the fact that they've connected that way. So now we are back to the gods, and we see Eros again, and he's kind of looking in the reflecting pool like, where did they go? Turns around, they're right behind him. So Superman lifts him up. He's threatening him when Aphrodite appears. And, Wonder Woman, of course, and she is one of her goddesses, she begs forgiveness for the situation and Superman's behavior. And Aphrodite says, once she understands what's happened, she says that there is a lotus that they can get that will cure this spell that's been put under them. And she gives them the location of this lotus. And Superman and Wonder Woman instantly head off there. Even in the fact of attempting to reach this location, there's some thunder that comes down and Wonder Woman deflects it with her bracelet. And as Wonder Woman says, it's not exactly a cold shower, but it did the trick. So they find this cave where this lotus is. They go inside, and it's not as easy as just walking in and finding this lotus because there is a Minotaur standing guard. So Superman does some battle with it. And of course, this is a creature of magic, so it's affecting Superman a little bit, but he still has this heat vision. And he causes a cave in a little bit that actually buries him. Wonder Woman freaks out a little bit. Oh, my poor darling Kal-El, she says. And when she frees him, he says, thanks, Diana, but I guess we better find that flower in a hurry if you've started to call me by my Kryptonian name. So they locate this lotus, the blue lotus. They see it. Superman goes to get it. He can't get it. So Wonder Woman says, okay, this is a magic spell. You're affected by magic. Let's fight magic with magic. And she uses her lasso. She tries to pull the flower, but alone she doesn't have any luck. So Superman asks if she would mind if he helped her, and together they're able to get the blue lotus. It cures their love sickness, and it even smells nice. So we now cut to the end of the story where Superman is reunited with Lois Lane and Wonder Woman with Steve Trevor. They're outside the tunnel of love. They have explained to them exactly what happened. Everything is good. So Lois says, what do you think, Superman? You want to take a ride in the tunnel of love? And Steve says, there's an idea, Angel. How about it? And Wonder Woman says, oh, I don't know, Steve. And at the same time, Superman and Wonder Woman say, maybe tomorrow. And that ends our story. Let's say hello to some folks who have joined us since we started the first one of our retro reviews. Hello to Comic Boom. And that's boom with a big old explanation point at the end. Good to have you here, my friend. And Superpower Review. Awesome to see you here. Always enjoy seeing you around, and happy you're here. And then joining us in the actual show, SK Tony Fett.
Hooray!
Wow.
I thought
Look
it was
who's here.
You thought it was Flashpoint?
Flashpoint.
No, I didn't lose. I didn't lose a bet.
We haven't seen him since.
I'm just saying, it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence, allegedly. I don't know if you. I'm sure you guys talked about the news, but did we talk about the DC Heroes trailer?
We covered that and autographs for a solid 20 minutes. Sorry, man.
Yeah, we did have an autograph.
We actually did.
Dang it! I kind of have, a slight expertise in that field. The one time I'm not around. Dang it.
Yeah.
But I just will say, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, looking good. Very excited. Very excited. I just hope that Black Adam stays bad.
I know.
That's my hope.
I know.
I have a feeling he is.
Anti-hero?
Well, he's more of, I guess you can call him an anti. Then that logic, he's on the same level as Sinestro. You know what I mean? Which I kind of put him in. They're both right in their own mind. You know what I mean? They're, Sinestro's fighting for Korgar and
Sinestro,
Black Adam for Kahndaq.
Black Adam, my wife, all right in their mind.
Oh, I guess Tim's not getting a Valentine.
I guess who's not going to get a Valentine tomorrow? Yeah.
Well, she's not watching the show tonight.
Exactly. But I will say that's a brief look made me very excited to see Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. I think he's going to kill it. I really do.
Yeah. Hello to Kyle, Wheelchair Superhero 87. Hi, Kyle. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Always good to see you checking in, my friend. Appreciate it. So already having more people here than I kind of thought. I thought Rewind would be more heavy on this stream for obvious reasons. So I have a little bit of competition tonight.
Why? What's going on?
Nothing is going on.
Nothing at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
just a normal Sunday, right?
Who is here? Squatchy Comics.
Super Bowl.
Oh boy.
Congratulations, Squatchy, on the success of your exclusives that you've been doing and the way that they've been selling. Totally deserve it. Very happy for you.
Absolutely.
Some of them are selling out so fast, even the diehard Squatch fans missed an opportunity. So
yes,
that's awesome.
Kicking myself, I didn't get any. If only he would make NFTs.
I've been in the stream for that conversation, and this is not the time nor the place for that conversation.
That's true. My mistake. But yes, congratulations, Mr. Squatch. Well deserved, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep at it. So
I remember when he was just a myth.
When he was just a myth. And then he was upgraded to out of focus blurry monster.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So still to come, we have some Valentine's Day trivia. But first, since Tony's here, the story that he's been so excited about, I don't know, is Tony kicking off the review on this one tonight?
I am not, because I didn't read nothing. I have a new
one. You didn't read nothing. Okay. Well, that's too bad.
So
I'm here for moral support and comedic relief.
I appreciate that.
That's what Harley's there for.
Yeah.
Like a good Harlequin.
What can I say?
I'm
here
read
for you
this
guys.
Before, but like some other reviews, when you review it for the show, you sort of look at it differently.
Mhm.
Keep in mind as we go through this is the animated series,
Okay.
one shot. This is geared towards children. And it
This
gets
is back when
pretty wild for that.
This is back when Harley Quinn was a character that, I didn't have an opinion, positive or negative. I mean, there was a time where I had a more positive focus on Harley Quinn. Back when she was a villain, like she should be. She's a bad character. I hate the fact that they're just like, she's nice now. Like, no, she's a murdering psychopath. But
Right?
continue. I'm sorry. It's a whole nother rant for a whole nother show.
So I'll try to get through this a little quick just because this is a thicker book. But we start off in the dentist office. Commissioner Jim Gordon is going in for a checkup.
Oh, that's a nice
And,
variant cover there.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
I think that's from a trade.
Okay.
And of course, it's the Joker is his dentist. And he immediately, Harley shoots this gun that traps him there, and he's getting ready to drill a huge hole in Jim Gordon's head. When, of course, Batman crashes in and says, your hints are getting sloppy. He basically just sent a pair of chattering teeth to the GCPD, which you think may have tipped off Jim Gordon, but it didn't. So, and Harley says the teeth were my idea, and so is this, and shoots Batman with anesthesia, and actually makes a joke saying that's a real gasser, huh, Mr. J? Which of course sets the Joker off. I make the jokes. They leave while throwing a grenade onto Jim Gordon's crotch, which Batman throws out the window. And these animated books usually do move at a pretty quick pace. So after that, we get a big splash page of Batman pulling into the Batcave in the Batmobile. I love the old 90s Batmobile. Yeah. And we see him talking to Alfred, where you get a brief back history of Harley. She was she got a scholarship as a gymnast to Gotham State University, was failing but using her looks to bribe teachers for better grades. And then we switch over to the Joker's hideout, and Harley's in the famous lingerie that I'm sure you all recognize from action figures. And she's trying to flirt with the Joker and has the best line because the Joker's ignoring her and says, "Don't you want to rev up your Harley?" Scroll down just right there.
I remember that part in the animated cartoon. I remember that.
She even says she has a whoopee cushion. And the Joker's just sighing and finally flips out on her and is basically he's upset because he doesn't have a plan, anything that is good enough to defeat Batman. And Harley's like, why don't you just shoot him? And that sets him off. He shoots his acid out of his flower at him. And it's just like, that's not how you kill Batman. It has to be good. And he starts talking about an old plan he scrapped called the Death of 100 Smiles, which he, long story short, eventually scrapped because he couldn't get the piranhas to smile. So Harley says, coming onto him once again, I know how to make some smiles. And he literally drags her by the nose outside and throws her out into the garbage in her nightie, where basically Harley, upset, comes to a realization that it's Batman's fault that her and Joker don't have a better relationship, in which we get another back history of Harley Quinn. And I think this was, laying the groundwork, this comic book. This is where we're finding a lot of this out, because this character was created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm for the show. And it just shows her working at Arkham, coming in and being warned. And she's pretty much immediately interested in the Joker. Finds roses. I believe it's roses. It may have just been a card. Yeah, a rose and a card from him. And basically takes him on as her patient, in which she starts telling, the Joker's telling her the sad story about how his dad used to beat him up. Tells this whole practical joke that he pulled on his dad that involved his dad's pants falling down, and makes Harley cry laughing, and is like, and then he broke my nose. So, making her feel sad for him. So that you just get a lot of flash pages where you get a little bit of the Joker's backstory, showing him fall into the acid and some different run-ins he's had with Batman. You see her writing their initials in hearts. And then one day the Joker escapes. And we see Batman bringing him in all bruised. And Harley's, grabbing a hold of him and looking at Batman real fiercely. And that basically makes her snap. Yeah, there you are, right there.
She looks more drunk than than beaten.
Yeah. She leaves, goes to a costume store, and we see her sneaking back into Arkham, gassing guards and stuff, hitting one guard with the rubber chicken and busting the Joker out. And here she is as Harley Quinn. So then we get some more flashes of their hijinks of, them escaping. Sort of Jokerish antics right there of snakes in a can and marbles on the floor and so forth. And then you see her vision of what she thought would happen with Batman's head on a mantle and some little Harleys and Jokers running around. So she gets the bright idea and goes in and steals the Joker's plan while he's asleep. We fast forward a little bit, and Commissioner Gordon is giving Batman a tape addressed to him in which Harley's basically confessing that Joker's going to do something crazy. He's going to bomb everything. You got to stop him. You need to come meet me and promise me protection, even taking off her mask in the process on this tape. So Batman goes to meet her and is about to give him the plans when suddenly the Joker shows up, calling her a traitor. He's riding a boat, shooting a machine gun. Batman dives, protecting Harley, throws a batarang, and you find out this was a robot. The head comes right off. And then Batman reacts because she's drugged him. Skip forward, and Batman, the Joker's plan with the piranhas, I guess except without them smiling, is going down. Batman's utility belt's off. He's chained upside down above some piranhas. And he's talking to Harley, and Harley's basically, saying, you're the reason that we don't have this relationship. And Batman is just like, you're never going to have a relationship with the Joker. You're just a henchwoman. And actually starts telling all these different stories the Joker's used on people, including the exact story about his dad beating him. And she's starting to break, but isn't quite broken, and decides she's going to kill him. And he's just like, the Joker's never going to believe you. Basically playing Harley. So Harley calls the Joker, and it is pretty funny. The Joker's still planning. He's like, yeah, you got Batman tied up. Like, what? So he reacts, drives there real quick, alerting the police. The police see he's going somewhere and start following him. We see more of Harley's, future plans in her head of them growing old together and having children and getting married. And the Joker shows up. And this is another sort of the lingerie scene, and this is pretty wild for a kid's comic. He immediately slaps her to the ground, and she's like, but I did your plan, so it's like you. And he's just like, I kill Batman. It's not your job to interfere. Just going off on her. And she's trying to hold him back with a swordfish. And he takes a swordfish and literally smashes her out of the window of this building.
Jeez.
To where the police show up, and you just see a puddle on the ground, and they're like calling ambulance. Like pretty wild thing. But this was all part of the Batman's plan. The Joker pulls him down because he doesn't want anyone to kill him but him. And then he's like, well, wait a minute. Why don't I just shoot him? And Batman, of course, knocks the gun at the last second, allowing the piranhas out, and gets to his utility belt. The Joker runs out the door, pulls the gun on the police. It's actually a fish he has in his hands. Runs up the building. Batman chases him, and he jumps off the building. Looks like he catches the handrail, but falls, landing on a train. He's making fun of Batman when Batman is behind him. and basically Batman lets him know that he convinced Harley to call him because there was no way out of it, and tells him Harley's come closer to killing me than you ever did, and calls him Puddin', which just absolutely sets him off. And there's a pretty good, I'd say 8-panel scene of them duking it out, and Joker pulling a knife, and Batman basically punching him off of the train and down a smokestack. And the story ends. We switch to Arkham, and we see Harley has survived. She's beaten up, has a head cast, an arm cast, a leg in a cast. And she's just like, no more Joker, no more craziness. We see the doctor that was warning her at the very beginning, asking her if she's learned anything, giving all this up for nothing in return. And she's like, it felt like, and looks over and sees another rose from the Joker with a note that says, feel better soon. And she's like, it felt like a kiss. And that's where it ends. It's sort of like I said, I'd read this before, but when you read so many origin stories, I forgot a lot of what happened in this book. Kind of wild for a kid's book, and really kind of sad. You know, the classic tale of Harley, original Harley's a pretty messed up story, pretty sad on her part. But
yeah, for sure.
It is definitely a love story. And one
so about how long after her first comic appearance was this published? Like within the first year or two, would you say?
When did her first comic appearance?
Was Batman Adventures 12, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking for a date on here. I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure. Okay. But
I'll also say hello to some folks that joined us while that story was while we were retro reviewing that. Copy 801 is here, fresh from his appearance at the Electric Band-Aid. And Super Russ 9000, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
That book came out in December of 93.
93, yep.
Okay, so it's very early.
Russ did a original DC Elseworlds play on his channel for anyone interested.
I still haven't seen that yet. I saw it, but I haven't looked.
Batman Adventures 12 was September of 93, so that was only 2 months later.
Okay, so this is really, really fast then. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is probably what where most of her backstory came.
Yeah, this is the original backstory of Harley Quinn, originally done.
I'm almost thinking this is probably pretty collectible. Yeah, look, Comics Price Guide has it as the second appearance of Harley Quinn and the origin. And it's the first appearance of Bud and Lou, her hyenas. They've got a nice price at $95 raw.
Oh,
I would have thought that would have the hyenas would have appeared in the comics, or the show. I'm sorry, first. So that's I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, in comics, they may have shown up in the television show. I don't know.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, let's turn now to some trivia. We're going to do some trivia since it's a special Valentine's Day themed episode. I've got some questions here. One of the questions is going to be very easy if you paid attention to Tim's retro review just a few minutes ago, but we'll get to that eventually. Let's get started. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to give each one of you a chance to state your answer before I state what the correct answer is. Okay?
All right. Okay.
So, what DC team has a no marriage rule? You can't be married to stay in this team.
I think I know.
Go ahead, Tim. What's your guess?
Legion of Superheroes.
Okay. Anyone else have a guess?
I'm going to say Justice League.
Justice League?
I guess I'll go with Teen Titans. I don't know.
One of you is correct. It is the Legion of Superheroes.
It would make sense to be Teen Titans. A bunch of teenagers they couldn't get married anyway.
Right.
And then in the Justice League, Hawkman and Hawkgirl were both members. So
that's true.
Yeah. Although it did take a while for Hawkgirl to get her membership. But Legion of Superheroes is it when Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl married, they had to retire from the Legion.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I ever remember hearing them state that's a rule, but I remember that, like, seeing them outside of it, and it's like, oh, well, we can't because we're married.
Copy was going to say it was the Super Pets.
The Super
Well, he's probably not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. Who did Lois Lane date during the New 52 era? Because remember, at that time, Superman was with Wonder Woman. But she had herself a relationship. Who was she dating?
Jimmy Olsen? I don't remember. I'm going Hail Mary and Jimmy Olsen.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, I was going to say, yeah.
It's a character I've never heard of. So if you guys know what this dude is up to, let me know. Jonathan Carroll.
Never heard of him.
I've read every New 52 Superman comic, and I can't remember that character existing. I don't remember that.
If copy serious, maybe he was
NPC.
Yeah. Okay, Larry Lance was the husband to who? What superhero?
Black Canary? Oh.
Yeah, Black Canary.
2 guesses for that. What do you
I'm going to say Black Canary.
That's the original Black Canary.
Hooray!
Yeah. He would, they did that weird thing when Black Canary moved from Earth 2 to Earth 1. They later retconned that as it being the daughter. So that would be, she was the daughter of the original Black Canary and Larry Lance. So
yeah,
it's a weird story.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense if she would have dated Steve Trevor. That makes sense.
Well, that's part of why they did the Crisis, to kind of clean up all that kind of stuff.
Thanks for stopping by, Gore. Our next question. This is one that I have asked before. So if Fu, who we know has a great memory, he should know the answer to this because you other two were gone when we did the show. And I'm recycling an old question.
Uh-oh.
In the Bronze Age, and this has been confirmed in several letter columns, but in the Bronze Age, originally DC had planned to have Wonder Woman have a romance with which Justice League member?
Batman?
Okay.
I'm going
to guess and say Batman.
I'm going to go off the wall. Firestorm.
Okay. And Fu, do you remember?
I don't.
Well, what's your guess?
Green Lantern? I don't know.
One of you has the correct answer, which is the one who guessed Green Lantern.
There you
Really?
go. See, I
Wow.
remembered. I remembered.
Wow.
Yeah, I almost said Superman, but that felt too obvious.
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, they had planned, and this has been confirmed in Justice League letter columns. It's been confirmed in Wonder Woman letter columns. I'm not sure about Green Lantern, but it's been confirmed several times that that was a plan. I don't know why they abandoned that plan.
Interesting.
But that was on the radar. Brother John was guessing Aquaman, which is a good guess, too.
That's a good guess.
Well,
yeah.
Wonder Woman was a Star Sapphire at one point.
That's true.
I wonder if maybe Green Lantern was doing well, because Green Lantern got canceled, 3 times from the 70s to 80s? I wonder if maybe his sales dipped when they were about to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So.
Okay, our next question. Hank Hall and Dawn Granger are in a relationship. What are their superhero names?
Hawk and Dove.
Hawk and Dove.
Yeah, Hawk and Dove.
Yeah, Hawk and Dove. Okay.
Yay, me.
That's too easy if you watch the Titans.
Yeah, Titans, yeah.
Gore saying that would have caused Star
It's a shame
Sapphire.
he's not coming back. The guy who plays.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he was so good.
great.
He was.
Incidentally, he played Aquaman in the Smallville series.
Yeah,
Did he?
That's right.
I did not know that.
yeah.
He did.
It's funny because they were thinking about giving him a show.
Yeah, I
After-
remember that.
after
They
Smallville,
actually, I think
a
they did a
spinoff.
pilot.
Yeah, I think you're
No,
right.
you know what? They did a pilot, but they didn't cast him. They cast Justin Hartley, who ended up playing Green Arrow.
Yeah, that guy.
crazy.
My wife watches some new show. I forget what it's called.
This Is Us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that guy was Green Arrow.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. I'm like, I'm dead serious. That guy played Green Arrow.
Yeah,
Well, I know
I've
the show, but I
actually-
don't know the actor.
It's Justin Hartley. I've actually met him at C2E2, and he had a ton of Green Arrow, and I think he had one Aquaman picture too that you could get.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That would have been cool.
And yet, Copy, I've got a question that's even easier than that one. But first, let's do the one that might be the hardest, maybe.
Oh, geez. What were the other ones then?
Oh, First of all, we have some importance here.
Public
Really?
service announcement.
Thank you.
Just in case you
Yeah.
guys weren't aware.
For Valentine's Day.
The second show of the month, we pause for
Yeah.
the
Okay. Glenn Ford and Phyllis Thatcher are actor and actresses. They portrayed this DC couple in a cinematic film.
Wait, what are the names again?
Glenn Ford and Phyllis Thatcher.
portrayed them in a film.
Yes.
A
I'm gonna
couple in
say
a film.
John and Martha Kent.
Okay, that's one guess. Anyone else got a guess?
I'm gonna say Ma and Pa Kent.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of couples that would have names that old in a movie.
I
Not a lot of
don't
options.
recall. I don't know the names. I really don't. So it's,
Yeah, I can't
I'm
think
of
just
it.
shooting in the dark.
I'm gonna go with them.
It's got to be Batman or Superman related, right?
Everyone is correct.
Okay.
That was
Lucky
from
guess.
the Richard Donner Superman, the
Okay.
very first
Okay.
one.
Okay.
You can
So-
just tell from the names it's old, so there ain't a lot
Right.
of options unless. But Lasso knows about weird stuff, like there could have been a Wonder Woman movie I don't know about from.
An old Batman movie or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Could have been. Okay, here's your easiest question of all time. And I'm looking for a specific place. And I want specific, okay? I don't want a general answer. I want a specific answer. Where did Joker and Harley Quinn meet?
Arkham Asylum.
Chemical.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum.
Oh, duh, yeah.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum.
Almost
Gotham
the way
City.
you phrased it throws you off, like
I know. That's
in Harley's office. No. during
Okay,
What
we got
floor
two
is
que-
it? What office number?
Yeah.
We got 2 questions left. Batman and Catwoman had a daughter who became a superhero. What is her name?
Oh shoot.
The superhero name or the real name?
This, why don't you give me the superhero name?
Huntress.
Is everyone else going with that?
Sure.
It's the Huntress.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a trick one too. Like you'd say,
that on, like,
Huntress, and you'd
another
be like,
Earth
no,
or
her name's
something?
Helena.
It is Earth 2.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah. Bronze Age goodness there.
But
Final question.
Didn't she pop up in Tom King's book just now too? Our version of it.
Did she?
Someone in the chat might know if they read.
Copy's got it
Tom
right. He's
King
even got her
name.
real name.
If anyone would know, it'd be you, Tim. We know how you love Tom King.
Well, I bought like 3 issues of it and stopped. But yeah, she shows. I believe she might have a different name though. It might not be Helena, but like their future daughter, that's a hero, shows up.
Final question, and this I'm looking for a general answer, a general location, not specific like Arkham was before. I just want a general.
General Lane.
DC
Yeah.
Comics.
But I want more than just a town. I want like a.
Okay.
Where did Barry Allen
Okay.
and Iris West meet for the first time?
Central City.
Well, I want more specific.
Jitters Cafe.
Yeah, I was gonna say a coffee shop.
Wait, met for the first
Oh.
time? It's got to be
At the police station,
Yeah, it's
Central City Police Station.
no, at I can only go as far as Central City. To be more
Wait.
to be confident is Central City.
Wasn't
Or
she
Keystone
originally from the
City.
future? I don't know. I'm lost. No idea.
I'm going
They
Just
met
at
coffee
Central
shop.
City Police Station.
They met at a crime scene because he was an investigator and she was a reporter.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. If we only had a Flash fan on the show.
I know.
I know.
Wait a minute, isn't Helena Bertinelli already a character with Spiral in the Grayson comic?
Who knows?
Now I'm confused. He might not have been
concludes our
answering my
trivia
question.
portion tonight for Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. We're going to start going around, find out if our special guests have a book show and to update us on what's going on with their channel. And first up is Tim, the comic collector.
All I did this week was another Journey into Legends. I'll probably have another one of them coming up. But for book show, I was only able to find one more of these newer Walmart packs, and it works out because it is Wonder Girl on the front. So let's open it up and see if I can pull A Genlock
Ooh,
6.
live unboxing.
These things are hard to open.
I am looking for a Son of Kal-El number 2 in one of those packs.
Let's see.
I like the Wonder Woman back packaging they put on there. That's cool.
This has Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl 3.
Yep.
And I do see we start to get some doubles from the other packs. We have Task Force Z number 2. And unfortunately, I did not pull the Genlock, but we have an Infinite Frontier 6. And I could actually see this book was in the back when I bought it, which I don't mind getting. I did want to get it. So for $2 instead of a cover price of $6, Batman the Imposter book 1.
Oh,
very
wow,
good pull.
Nice.
That's a great pull.
I like these packs because I think they have better books now. You have a chance at some rare pulp books, and you're getting books like this. $6 books for $2.40. You can't beat it.
No, not at all.
Plus, it
That's
blows up
awesome.
DC's comic sale. They can say, look at how much books we're selling.
Yeah.
They need all the help they can get.
Yeah, very cool. And Copy agrees, saying
That was a nice pack.
Yeah.
That was a nice
Yeah.
pack.
I've not been disappointed with these packs, and that's the first doubles I got. And I knew I was going to get the Wonder Girl again because it's on the cover.
Mhm.
But, that's fine.
Heading over now to see what's going on the Comic Food 2814 channel.
Well, this Thursday we will be again doing another Building a Mystery with Warlord, and he's putting together his mystery boxes, and so we're going to continue to see what he's put together there. I've also got a mystery box on the way. I haven't received it yet though, so we'll have to see when that arrives, and then I'll do one of those videos. And for my book show tonight, since we reviewed a DC Comics Presents, which is one of my favorite titles, and also we were talking about our excitement over seeing Dr. Fate in the movies, I figured I'd bring out DC Comics Presents number 23, Superman
Very cool.
and Dr.
That's
Fate.
a great cover.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Very cool.
Well, I think we need to do a Dr. Fate retro review sometime. 'Cause I don't think that's a character we've gone into too much. So
no, you're right. You're right. Good call.
I thought that would be fun to bring up.
Awesome.
But that's it for me.
So, will Warlord be revealing his Viagra box? And this
You know, I have been doing research for him. I think I've come up with some great possibilities for him. So we'll have to see. I don't know.
time will tell. We'll tune in to find out. Also, let's say hello to Bake the Snake checking in.
Big.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm sure he's just struggling down in Key West.
Yeah.
Hey, we've actually gone up now to 8 degrees. So that's a +3 since when this show started.
When I left Iowa, it was 11 below zero for the high.
Wow. Not
Tony
fun.
Fett, the Signature King, what's going on your channel? Do you have a book show too?
I do have a book show, so I'm going to show that first. Sticking with the tradition of love, and it's Valentine's Day, so I decided to show off some really cool Tom King stuff for Tim.
Yeah.
Batman Rebirth 24.
The greatest love rider DC's ever had.
Exactly. So he Bat and the Cat, signed by Tom King, David Finch, issue 24, and the wedding issue that only had like 75 variants, if you think about it, which is surprising. The only 50s that I have are this one signed by Tom King and this one signed by Tom King.
That's like the best one right there.
It is one of my favorites. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and what's coming up on my channel? I've just been working on some shorts, some DC or not DC shorts, YouTube shorts. So here I am in the midst of one. This particular one comes out tomorrow around 11:30. So if you're on the YouTubes around that time, keep an eye out for all that good stuff. So
Tony, while we're talking about stuff coming up on your channel, you're going to be able to host next week, right?
Oh, of course.
You said you had plans because next week is the big 100th episode of Fanboys.
Did I say I had plans? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I might have been just pulling your leg.
You were going to dress up, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I remember now. No. Good try. No. I was thinking maybe give something away. Give a couple things away.
Cool.
That was pretty successful last year. We had a really big turnout.
We did.
So
We had a
say, why
Marvel
not do
fan
it again?
win.
We should give
Yeah,
away
you're right.
a Swamp Thing 37, but none of the panelists could win it. It's like,
That's okay. I'll put my mom in the chat. I'll put my wife in the chat. I'll put my brother in the chat. I'll put my dad in the chat. I'll win it.
BTC Moon Guy, thanks for stopping by. I
he's
want to
here
talk
every
about.
week.
I
Thank
want
you,
to
man.
talk about my channel and do a book show as well. First of all, I'll tell you guys, and you guys behind the scenes have helped me out so much with this. But my first YouTube short got 1.3K views this week for the back issue of the week, and that's the first time that ever happened. But thank you guys for teaching me on some of the steps that you can do. That looks like it kind of increases success a little bit if you do this. You can certainly tell when the algorithm is with you and when it's not, because the week before, back issue of the week short got 15 views, 15 total. And then the next week it got 1.3K. So
It's such a hit or miss thing. It could be your thumbnail, your title, and anything.
It really likes you. So tomorrow I'll be dropping another back issue of the week, and hopefully the algorithm will be my Valentine, and we'll see what happens. It's going to have a little bit of a Valentine theme to it as well. Bake, it's actually relatively easy. The hardest part for me is shutting up within 60 seconds because mine turns off on me as soon as it hits 59, 60.
I just want to know how to upload one and have it go as a short. I've tried twice, following instructions from YouTube, and it just goes up as a regular video.
Yours always show up as shorts on mine.
Well, the shorts I record like out and about, like my pre-recorded, like the little action figure things I do, I try to upload them as shorts, and it just goes up as a video. So
we'll have to figure that out.
Any luck with them.
Yeah.
I hit a couple of home runs right out of the gate, and it gave me too much confidence. And then I backed off just for a little bit, and that's when it came back to bite me. So I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things. My last one had like 11, 1.1K or something, but the one before that had like 8.
I don't think there's any true advice. It's like doing all the advice and getting lucky. Like one of those things hits.
That's probably accurate. So I'll be dropping another video this week too. Tuesday afternoon, I'll have my comic book editions video, and I have another AOK from my friend in Brazil. We haven't been able to kind of exchange mail because of pandemic for a few years. So we both have lots of stuff built up, and I'm sharing more of that in the video that's coming out Tuesday afternoon. It's another brand new package that I wasn't expecting. So tune in for that. This past week, I'll also have another coming up on Friday. I'll have another cover by video in my series. So that's all coming up this week. This past week, I had another YouTube short, what I've been reading, lots of DC in there. And then I did a video too that was primarily a half price books haul and some back issues that I picked up and a little bit of half price books footage for those that never had a chance to shop in the store. So I have a little bit of footage in there too. But for my book show, I was thinking about, at first I was going to do something that was Superman and Wonder Woman romance. And then I started thinking about it and I thought, you know what? I've got a really good opportunity here to show this book that I don't know if I would have in the future. So it was 1981 for the DC Comics Presents story that we retro reviewed tonight. But 3 years later, with Wonder Woman number 321, Eros was back. And what they did with this story, which I thought was so interesting, Steve Trevor has died multiple times in the Wonder Woman comic book series. But in this story, he reveals that this Eros, this Cupid, is essentially the soul of the very first Steve Trevor that died. So he's come back to claim Wonder Woman. And there's even a different dude that's Steve Trevor now. And he's like, I'm Steve Trevor. And Eros is like, I am Steve Trevor. I'm the original one she fell in love with. And it's kind of it's a little bit of a mess, but it's creative at least.
I'm the original Steve Trevor. Gal Gadot, it's me. It was me all along.
And for those wondering, tomorrow I'm going to have me a happy Galentine's Day, a Gal Gadot Valentine's Day. So But Wonder Woman 321 is my book show for tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that brings to a close episode 99 of Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. There are links for all of our panel in the description to this video. If you hadn't had a chance to sub their channels, you're missing out. So please head over there, sub them up, and enjoy the content that they're creating. Episode 100 next week. And Tony, is it your channel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big 100. Very
We're
cool
looking
stuff.
forward to it. So come by and see what will be in store for you. In the meantime, thanks again for spending your nights with us. If you watched on the rewind, I understood that there was something distracting on TV. And
I thought the Olympics were over.
Yeah. But thank you, regardless if you watch live or if you watched on the rewind. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. So we will say peace out. Happy